hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
And I will begin. So hello again. My name is Juraj Bako, and I'm currently a PhD student at the Academy of Performing Arts in Bratislava. And today I will be talking about Puppet Augmented and using 3D technology in puppetry practice. So our today's journey will be, I will explain a little bit the term of Puppet Augmented, what does it mean, where does it come from, and then I will show some practical examples, also like works that I worked on, and also like the ongoing projects that are more like experimenting, researching 3D technology in puppetry practice. So Puppet Augmented, I use this term because I found similarities with the term of augmented reality. And augmented reality means that our reality could be enhanced by using technology. And I found some kind of like few similarities when I also in using technology and 3D technology in puppetry practice. There are three basic features of augmented reality. And the first one is a combination of real and virtual worlds. So it's working like that. So I am in a physical space in the real world, and I'm using some kind of like device, for example, a mobile phone or a tablet, and then this device could enhance the real world. The second feature is that it has to be like in real-time interaction with the user. And the third one is it has to be a 3D accurate registration of virtual and real objects. So that means, for example, augmented reality works like that I have a mobile phone, and then I scanned or take a photo of some kind of like QR code or some kind of like visual sign, and that tells the device that, okay, so now this kind of augmentation begins. And when I was using the technology and 3D technology in puppetry practice, so I found quite few similarities. And the first feature is also similar because there is a combining the real world, for example, like the world where the performers, puppeteers are, and the virtual worlds, like the projections or whatever I'm just like digitally using. The second one is real-time interaction because it has to be like interaction between the puppeteers and the technology or like the interactive stuff that's going on the stage. And the third point is to be 3D accurate registration because when I'm using technology and 3D technology in theater, in puppet theater, so I have to have some kind of like I have limitations. For example, if I'm using projections or 3D interactive technology, so I have to like consider about in which room I'm going to like be working with the technology, or where should I project those things, etc., etc. But I will come to that later. And now I will like show a few examples of my work that I created or I collaborated on, and these works are divided into two groups. It's like the first one is a haptic experience. It's based on interactive environments using sensors and a lot of like tactile things. And the second one is virtual experiences, such as like projections, 3D scanning, and like these are the projects and just like works based on in the digital set into the digital space. So first project is Distance Dissonance. It was a collaboration with a set designer, Juraj Bako, and we worked on a theater costume, and we experiment with a costume using the interactive technology. And in this particular case, it was two ultrasonic sensors that could like sense the distance of objects or persons in the room. And accordingly, based on this data, there were like small buzzers that were producing sounds. And if the object was closer, there was a sound as the object was further away. This was our collaboration, and it was also like experimental work. And here I show you a short trailer. called Brothers and Sisters. It was a visual performance where we worked on with three text sources, old text sources. The first one was Bible, the second one was Northern mythology in a book called Edda, and Slavic mythology. And we created some kind of like visual theater laboratory where we focused on different cultural viewpoints. So how these three like cultures take into consideration themes such as morality or gender equality. And we worked with a live video, and we created an image of a woman that were like in the time of the performance slowly dissolved into like the virtual space. I have also a short trailer of this project, so you can have. Another project was Us. It was also a visual performance where I also collaborated with Julia Jurinova, the set designer, and we worked with a group of 4 performers, and it was a performance based on their personal expression on themes such as like human relationships, like their personal view of the world in that time. What was interesting in this project, we collaborated with a creative studio that is called Unfold Collective, and together we created some kind of like interactive floor. You can see the shiny metal wires on the floor, and it worked that every time the performer stepped on it, so the projection was projected on the other part of the stage. And also we connected those themes of their personal opinions and personal expressions with nature, and we tried to find parallels of those themes in the nature. And that's the reason why the like the visual part of the projection has some kind of like nature nature look. You will see it in the video. I have also a short trailer, so here it is. This is another project called Battle Royale, and it was an interactive performative game. It was a collaboration with the Hochschule für Schauspielkunst Ernst Busch in Berlin and the Dortmund Game Festival. And basically, like, the audience was divided into two groups, and each group, like, the goal of the game was to control the robots. There are two of them, and on this kind of like imaginary land map or like landscape map. And in order to move the robots, the executive people needed energy, and it was gathered by the workers, and it was some kind of like interactive game where also the interface of how the robots were controlled was interesting, because it was controlled by this kind of like suit that the one person was inside. It was a performer, and people had to like touch particular parts of the costume in order to move the robots, and they needed to figure out, so okay, so if I touch this 2 points, so that means that the robot will go further, and if another 2 points, so the robot will go backwards. I have also the short video. This was the workers that needed to push the button. This was a And if the robots were for a long time in one particular part of the map, so this particular tile became red, and if there was like too long the robot there, so the that group lost the game. This is also the theme.
So. Und ihr könnt das managen, indem ihr diesen Klapper berührt. Aber klingt das denn überhaupt?
Move forward to ongoing experiments. Like the first one is visualization of like interactive visualization, and like this, I will show it, and this is like the visualization that reacts to music. And it was done with a collaboration with the Theater Fee, and it was for one particular performance for the children. And this was like the beginning of my experimentation with this kind of particle systems. And this is very like rough video. And then I tried to make the visualization not reacting onto the music, but on to the person, like particular person, that's me, and with moving my hands. So this was like experiments, and then later, so there were questions of, okay, how could this be used in a puppetry practice? And also, these were like auditory experiments. So how could somebody sonificate the object or like visual material or a puppet? And this is like the also experimental. And there is also like another short video. Those small experiments led me to like experiment on a virtual puppet, and this is a collaboration. Also, I'm very lucky that I have the possibility to work with a group of puppeteers at the Academy of Performing Arts. And this is some kind of like our experimentation. So how can we create a virtual puppet? And we scanned our head, and then I created like these 3D models, but these 3D models are very static. And then we thought about, okay, so what could we do with them? And there is a like possibility to animate them. It's quite like easy, and there is like it's called Mixamo. It's like the database of short animations and poses, which could be like easily downloaded, and then we can work with them like further. This is like short showing, and then, for example, I tried to like create some kind of like funny experience, and then I combine it with the music, and this is like what happened. Yeah. And for example, then this picture is because if I have like 3D models and 3D objects, so they're quite modular, and I can use them in different scenarios, which could be, for example, a projection, or I could like 3D let it 3D printed and then work with it like further on. And this is some kind of like 90s looking scenery of like some kind of, for example, game. It could be, and like now I'm focusing on how these like puppets could be connected in real-time interaction with the puppeteers, and how with some kind of like infrared sensors such as Kinect, how could puppeteers control and animate those virtual puppets. So this is like ongoing experiment, and this is quite like only a small snippet of it. Yeah. So I thank you for your attention. This is quite like quick overview. And I will stop sharing my screen. And if you have questions, so I will be happy to answer them.
Tak, to jest moment na pytania, jeżeli jakieś są. Jest jedno pytanie.
Okay, we've got one question.
Hi. I would like to ask about this last project with the puppets. Means they were like kind of animated with the hands. Can you please explain a little bit more why they are puppets?
The last project with the virtual puppet, it was like until now it was also it's completely virtual. It's not interactive until now because we need to choose these animations online and then work with them later on. But the thing with the particles, it was animated with, because I was sitting at the table, so that was like the easiest way how to animate it. And yeah, but now I'm quite working on combining those elements of like this interactivity with those 3D models, and how could it be combined? Because also the thing that like this online database does is quite practical, because if I work with 3D models, they're quite static and they don't have joints. But this it's quite like very slowly, and it took a lot of time to do it manually, but this software does it automatically, and it's quite precise and it's quite good. So that's the reason why we work with that.
Czy są jeszcze jakieś pytania? So,
Any more
thank
questions?
you for your lecture.
Thank you for your attention.